I'm sorry, I don't know what kind of pain you're in, but you need to sit down because you weren't like you were not like that when you went to bed. I don't know what you did, but lay down. Good morning. I'm sorry, I don't know bed, but no, lay down. No, good morning. I'm sorry, I don't know bed, but no, lay down. Sometimes it's like this, y'all. It's not that often, but when I went to bed last night, well, I did go to bed really early because it was just, I didn't mean to. I needed it apparently. I fell asleep and the only thing I woke up and I shifted, I went from one bed to another. And yeah, and it was I was knocked out last night, as my grandmother might say. I was dead to the world last night. And when I woke up this morning, my dog is limping for some odd reason, and I have no idea what she could have been doing through the night, but now she is limping and acting sort of like a big baby. I have no clue what she did. She does not sleep in my bed. She sleeps next to my bed, and I don't know if it was something that happened while she was trying to crawl under the bed or something else that could have happened, but for whatever reason, now she has a limp, and I'll deal with it later. Oh, happy Saturday morning to you. And I am so thrilled to be in my spot and to come and have this ability to talk to you today. And I want to say that I got a feeling that today is going to be an interesting conversation, X-rated maybe, but interesting nonetheless, because there has been so much that has come up for me this morning already. And even as I said in my meditation today, there was a lot of things that have gone on. Yesterday was a little stressful for me. I got on here yesterday talking about stuff hitting my account that I had thought I had paused, and just so I was running around yesterday trying to shake some trees and make some things happen. So it's life happening. And I'm grateful to know that whatever comes my way, whatever befalls me, that I can handle it. It's not as if I cannot. Oh my goodness. Do you guys have dogs? This oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ah, goodness. It's anyway, we're gonna let dogs do what dogs do. So at any rate, so yesterday was a little frantic and a little stressful, but it worked out. Well, I'm not gonna say it's working out. It's working out. And so by the time about 8 or so, I laid down, I was dead. And it felt good to sleep so hard. And then I woke up and I realized, oh my God, look at the time, and can't believe I slept this long. But I got up, took off my clothes, put on my sleep clothes, got in my bed, and fell right back to sleep. And so I had a really good rest, a really good night as far as rest is concerned. And so today I really, there's a lot on my mind, and I invite you guys to embark on this journey, this conversation with me. And the thing about it is I encourage you to stay open. This morning, I responded to an email that a friend of mine had sent about what I thought about a conversation that I listened to. And I said to her that when we have the perception that somehow we are better than or superior to somebody else, based on something like DNA or based on something like being in a particular family or having certain, we run into dangers, sometimes even based on color, based on exposure, we run into difficulties. And, one of the things that I was trying to point out to her is that the the spoils, the wins belong to people who actually do the work, right? Not to, and here's the thing, that sometimes we do the work, but we do the work on the same playing field as everybody else. And so all you do if you're on the same playing field as everybody else is that you operate according to their rules, and you maybe outrun them or outwork them or something like that, but it's still within the same framework. One of the things that the Matrix did when I watched the original Matrix, the first one, is that, one of the things that Morpheus kept saying to Neo is that this system is based on a set of laws or a set of rules. And basically he was to learn the rules. And he says, but once you figure out who you are, it's this thing of you'll figure out that the rules don't apply to you. And so a lot of times we see the things there, and because of sometimes our own comfort and because what we've learned, and sometimes because of other people's comfort, we play by the rules that have been set up. But the wonderful thing about what happened to Neo in the course of that movie is that he figured out that the rules didn't apply to him. I want to quote the quote because it seems like it's right there on my tongue, but it's not coming to me. But he says that, but when you realize you're the one, he says, you won't have to go through all of that. And so the question becomes for so many people, what am I the one? Well, yes, you are the one that was appointed to come to do what only you can do. Each of us comes here with our own unique assignment, our own thing that we bring into the world, and it's up to us to bring it forth. But if all you're doing is trying to dance to the music that somebody else sets for you, if you're only trying to do what those around you are doing, then you only get what they're getting. And at some point, we've got to figure out, well, maybe this is too small for me, or maybe this is not right for me, or maybe I'm called to do something more, something better, something different, whatever that may be, and then to step into that. So let me see if I can make this more plain for you. A lot of times we don't recognize that there are so many rules that are set because they have been the rules or the system that we've been born into. We've been born into a prison for our minds. And so when we're born into a prison for our minds, we can't even see the bars that are there because the bars has always been there. And I'm not talking about this being black versus white or, rich versus poor or any of that stuff. It is the framework that all of us have been born into, all of us have been enculturated into. Men, women, black, white, rich, poor, whoever you are, Christian, non-Christian, all of these kinds of demarcations that we put up, all of us have been brought into a system that we cannot see because it's always been there. It's like a fish swimming through water. It doesn't know that it's in water. But we know that there are the parameters around which it can't swim anymore. And until it hits the glass, until it comes up against that glass, it's like saying, whoa, wait a minute, what is this? And so that is a thing that a lot of us have been, experiencing, this thing of we can't see the bars that are structured around us. And so therefore we can't do anything about them. Now, here's so let me go in that direction. Let me talk for a minute about, because there's so many things that this hits on for me when I'm looking at it. There's this idea that people have supposed that based on race, that there are certain things that some can do and some cannot. Let me let me take that out of the thing. It is based on who does the work, right? What does the work mean? The work means not sitting up and studying the framework that somebody else has set for you, not sitting up studying the Bible, not sitting up with all these books, right? Because I got books coming out my kazoo, books behind me, books in the other room, books on my kitchen table, books in my bed, books in the basement. I got all of these things. But you know what? The best thing that I have is that darn meditation cushion that's sitting in there. To sit in an idea, to sit and allow, to hear, to listen. If you don't stop whining, to sit and just to be in a space of where you can listen, right, is an amazing thing. Listen, and then perhaps try to follow the directives that is given you. Trying to breathe into a space, trying to hear what is being said and to understand why. All of those things are necessary for insight to come. And so when you figure that out, what wonderful things about, some of these books is that they introduce you to new ideas and new concepts. But it's kind of like, you putting them in a jar. They're there and they're in the book and they are somebody else's lesson. But until you do the work and make it your lesson, your calling, your stuff, you still only get as far as they've gotten. You only get so far. So we have to have the courage to step out on our own faith and do our own work and discover our own truths. And then where you find that you were tethered, it is breaking the chains of even that. I was told when I was younger that there was something inherently wrong with female, right? Being a woman. I was told that only men or only ministers could stand there, or only they can do that. Only they can say a certain thing. Well, you know what? At a certain point, we got to break even that mold. Because as a matter of fact, when you look at, even if you, once you breathe into a space, you'll know that the things that you have been told are not true. Not only are they not true, they could not be true. because down their face, they don't make any sense. And there is a part that'll tell you, oh, don't step outside of that box. Don't color outside of that line because you're not supposed to. It says it in this book over here, or it says it right here. You're not supposed to do that. And so what do? We cower. We decide, oh, no, that's not for me. We sit there and we think that, oh, maybe if I do it this way, or if I go that way, maybe this will work. Well, wonder if we just break the whole darn thing. Wonder if we break it and find out that none of the stuff that we thought was the way that it was, or the way that it was supposed to be, is not true. That is the wool that's been pulled over our eyes to blind us to the truth. The truth that somebody, the universe has been waiting for you to show up on the scene and challenge the narrative that you've been given. That you are absolutely good enough. You are absolutely who you are supposed to be, who you were created to be. The desires in your heart are there for a reason. Not for you to cower, not for you to sit back and say, oh, I can't do that, and this is not for me, and all of this other crap. No, we have got to break the mold on what that means. We've got to stop with some of the crazy stuff that we have accepted as the truth, because it is simply not. If you look at some of the things, I mean, even the simple story of Adam and Eve, when that little man started saying, well, that she was the one that gave me that thing to eat, right? Never asking the question about how dumb is that whole conversation? How crazy is it, right? So I have been taught, I'll tell you, I've been taught that we are supposed to, there is something powerful about standing up in and on your own experience. We know, even just in how we feel about things, we already know when we are standing upright. And I say that because one of the things that, I talk often about how my parents used to have this thing about posture, talking about stand up straight, sit up straight. There is something about having a backbone. There is something about having your own two legs up under you. It's something about standing on your own two big spiritual feet that are symbolic about how we need to move through the world. If you're always running around, walking on a crutch or leaning on a wall, you cannot stand up and hold your own self upright. And so then at a certain point, we need to figure out, what am I leaning on? Am I smoking to empower me? Does this give me some kind of courage? Am I drinking because I need to escape the moment? Am I taking some other kind of drug or some other kind of pill because I can't stand up straight on my own? And if that is the case, then what do I need to do so that I can stand up straight and tall in the world? So I can get my thoughts together, so I can go in the direction that I'm supposed to go in? What do I need to do? That's what you get from sitting on the cushion. You start getting those breadcrumbs. And yesterday I talked about that whole thing of the moment you start to get integrity within yourself, the moment you start to recognize that there is something that you are supposed to do and you turn in that direction, then something else comes back and starts to show you the path to walk to get where it is that you desire to go. But as long as you're leaning, as long as you're slouching, as long as you're not walking the path, and when I'm talking about this as it relates to posture, don't get it twisted that this is not a metaphor for what I'm talking about. It's a metaphor. So ask yourself, where am I not standing up straight? Where am I leaning on my education and the titles or the things behind my name to bolster me up in the world? Where am I leaning upon money or the illusion of money or whatever it is? Where am I leaning upon that to give me more courage in the world, to make me feel as if I'm valid and I belong? What am I leaning? What's my golden calf right here that I'm putting out before me as I go through the world, trying to make myself seem like I'm acceptable? What is yours? Those are the things that I have to deal with, even of myself. I wrestle with myself with these ideas because a lot of times I realize that things come into my consciousness and I wonder, where the hell did that come from? Where is that coming from? Somebody, this lady, I think I've told this story before. This lady said to me one time, because it was just, I was at Cleveland Heights Library, and I'm sitting there and I'm doing work on the computer because I didn't have a computer at home. I was sitting in the computer lab, and this sister, older woman, who decided that this was a good time, a good day, while I'm sitting up there trying to, because you in the computer lab, you only get a couple of hours to be on the computer. And she thought it was a good day that she could witness to me. And she decided in her witnessing to me that she needed to tell me about, me and my body and men, their bodies and all of this other stuff. And she said to me, and I'm sitting there and I'm not really like engaging in the conversation because I'm really needing to do work. But at a certain point, she said to me, when you've given a man your body, you've given him all you've got to give. And I thought to myself for a second there, well, wonder if you were raped already, right? Is that all I got to give? Is that all the hell I am? Is that it? And I finally had to, turn around and say, would just, I got work to do. That's what I told her. I said, I have work to do. Because one of the things that I knew is that you're not going to diminish me and shrink me down to a body part. You are not going to define me by your definition of what I'm going. No. And so from that moment forward, there was this effort that I had to make in myself to figure out, what is it? What is my gift? What do I have to give to the world? Because I'll be damned if it's going to be just some pussy, right? Because every woman out here has the same doggone thing. And I was not going to I don't care if it's a man or woman, I am not going to let you shrink me down to that. So therein lies therein lies the first kind of trek. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz, right? Because I needed to ask him who I was. But then you get there and you find out the wizard can't tell you who you are. You have to discover who you are. And so now all of a sudden, and I know I'm referring to this whole thing because it's like this is a metaphor for life. You get a question. You think that there's some place that you need to go to find out the answer, and only for them to tell you, oh, wise one, like, let me send you on a journey. Let me send you on a path. And so sometimes it's the hero's journey that we now have to set out on to find who we've been all along. So he sends Dorothy out, go bring me the broom, or go, do this, whatever it is, go find your father. That's the hero's journey, the quest. We go out in search of something. And what we're really searching for is ourselves. We're searching for our own value. And so when somebody else tells you what your value is, it is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to verify it or to reject it, to clarify it, whatever you need to do. But somebody else, not your minister, not the wizard, not your mate, not your mother, nobody else can tell you who you are. Who you are is what comes up through you. It's born in you. It's your lesson. If God didn't even tell you, right? They say that this little ridge here is that when we're born, that the angel tells us what our mission is. Some people would say that we're given what our mission is, but we agree to the mission to which we're born. And then they do this little shh and tell you don't tell, right? And they say people who are born with cleft lips, they get burned because they're stubborn about that shh, right? That you're supposed to know, but then you forget. There's a veil that's put over it so that you don't quite know. And that through your actions and through your work and through your love and through this pulling, this calling, everybody has a calling. Through that, we find out what our truth is. It's not for somebody else to tell you. Don't let somebody else do that to you. It's for you to find out, for you to discover through the process of living your life. How do I know? Because I'm still uncovering every single day these truths for myself. And I knew that when that woman said that to me, I knew, no, that's wrong. I knew that that was wrong. Come on, sister. Really? But we do that to one another. We sit there and we try to, we try to, get people to believe exactly the same things that we've been taught because, if it was good enough for me, it's good enough for them. But at a certain point, how do we get our folks to expand even in the consciousness, in their consciousness? Okay, let's go further than that. Let's see if we can breathe more into that. Let's see if we can get bigger than that. Because that, my dear, is not all that you are, and it never will be. And here, let me tell you something else, because here's something else I had to discover. I used to have some conflicts within myself because, first time I got engaged was with a guy that I was dating through high school, and he asked me to marry him. And there was this, yes, yes. I was like thinking like I'm gonna get that, whatever that is, right? That I'm going to be. And then the headaches started. I got headaches so bad that I couldn't even, on some days, I couldn't lift my head. What is this? I was praying about it, God, because I don't like to take medicine. I didn't even like to take medicine then. And I knew if I needed to take medicine, that something was wrong. I was like, oh God, what is this? What is this? And so and that's happened to me a number of times in life. The first time was when I had said yes to a marriage proposal. I got these headaches and they were excruciating. I could hardly function. Those headaches lifted for me the day I got on the phone and I told that man, I was like, I cannot do this. I cannot marry you. And it was like the headaches just lifted off of me, like it was amazing to me. And I thought, what is that? I didn't know about epigenetics then. I didn't know about this ancestral trauma, ancestral history. And I don't know that it would have mattered then if I did know about it, but I didn't know about all of that stuff. But I knew that there was my engagement, and then there was I can't do this. And that stress lifting up off of me and the headaches disappeared. Second time that happened to me is I was working a job and I knew it was time for me to leave there. I knew that job was not my destiny. I knew that it was time that I moved on. But my goodness, we get comfortable in situations. We get comfortable doing the same old, same old. And we know that it's time. We know that it's time for us to make a move. And I was in resistance. I was like thinking to myself, oh, this ain't really taking anything away from me. This is not diminishing me in any way. And then every time I headed in the direction of that job, I didn't care when it was. I didn't care what. I don't care if I tried to go in the back door. I would get these excruciating headaches. And it would just be, oh my God, I couldn't. And I knew from the engagement part, I knew that when it was time, it was time. And all I was going to do was, if I wasn't about to make that move, then I was going to keep experiencing these headaches. Y'all, I don't know if so now when I get a clue that I'm supposed to make a shift or a change, I don't wait for the headaches to come. I don't wait for the sickness to enter my body. I make the choice because I know that the choice that I make to end something, to move on, to make a shift is a choice for me. It's not anything other than for me and my highest and best good. And so I don't know who's supposed to hear that, but I know that that's what I'm supposed to share with you, that sometimes you start doing things and it's killing you and you can't make the choice for yourself, maybe because you don't think that you're worthy of the choice. Maybe it's because you don't think that there's anything else out there that can show you a particular way for you or forward. I don't know what it is, the reasons why you are in resistance, but if you're in resistance and you're not moving to your highest and best good, then it is no wonder when sickness starts to fall upon your body. When you start, and all the doctoring in the world, they'll give you pills to cover it up. They may have you do a surgery to kind of try to offset some of the stuff. There's all these things that they try to do in order for you to deal with the poor choices or the choices that you are not making for your life. It will still kill you, right? I am not trying to say that you are not at some point going to die anyway, because we all do at some point, but don't die because you refuse to live. Now, that's another part. Here's the other thing. There's this question that I have and that I've had within me about why it is in our society that everybody feels like, how do I want to put this? Because, it's so wonderful that this stuff comes to me, but it's the interesting part is that I don't know that I think about it, or I have the opportunity before it hits me to put verbiage to it. And so I'm trying to put the verbs to it. Like I wish Spirit would give me the verbs that go with it so that I can explain to you exactly what I mean. There is something about us. Maybe I'll go back to this thing about leaning, right? Where we're not standing up within ourselves, right? And so there is this part of us that wants to lean in on, and I don't know, do I want to say it that way? So this idea of connection is major, connection is important, right? I don't want to take anything away from that. But don't allow people to establish your worth based on whether or not your connection or you are connected to someone. This idea of being chosen is something that women we have done to each other. Like, like as if everybody needs to be in a marriage or a relationship, as if you are not enough as you are. Let me dissuade you, disevolve. What is the word? Let me take that off of your plate. That sometimes those things take you away from your purpose, as opposed to making you more secure in it. Sometimes those things just reiterate and double down on the dysfunctions that go on in our society. Sometimes your best place to be is in this space where you can see and make decisions and move and pivot when you need to. Because when you are traveling with what I don't know, when you're not traveling light, your decisions and your ability to make decisions, your ability to think and make discernments, sometimes those things are it doesn't happen the same. So never beat up on yourself about where you are, because sometimes where you are is where you are supposed to be. It's always where you're supposed to. We are always in our divine right place. Good morning, Everett. Good morning. Good morning. Let me put on there. Don't lean on things that can't truly support you, your ideas or your purpose. Yes, good morning, good morning. And sometimes we have to know the difference. Sometimes we have to know the difference in those things. One of the things that I know and I have seen is that there are a lot of people who will have told me at different points in time that they are like supporting cast. And that is the role that they play. That's the role where they're comfortable. And that's the role where they will always be, is supporting cast. Now, if you know that you are not supposed to be supporting cast, and say, for instance, you feel that you are supposed to, have a voice or be seen or contribute in some kind of way. If you know that there is a gifting that is yours and you are in a situation where people always make you supporting cast, at some point you have to step out from under that. You got to step out from behind that. I want to tell y'all the movie that I saw. I think it was a Harry Potter movie, and that little guy who was always being kicked around and shoved around, and all of those things by one of those characters. It was Harry Potter's adversary or something like that. All he needed was a sock to be free, and it had to be handed to him by his owner or by his master. And so I think the sock was then put in a book and handed to him. And all of a sudden, what he realized is, oh, wow, I'm free. I get to make choices. I get to make decisions. I get to be me. And sometimes we are so busy waiting for somebody to give us a sock. We are so busy waiting for somebody to unshackle us from the chains, to tell us that, oh, okay, I'll let you have a chance. I'll let you have an opportunity, rather than taking the opportunity yourself. I tell you that, I can't tell you how many times I get criticized for being the me that I am. And if I'm sitting up waiting for permission or for other people to like or give me an attaboy or say it's okay, then I can never stand up and be truly who I'm supposed to be. Darn it, my birth was my permission. And as I move forward through this life, all of these things come, and it can support me or not, but it does not alter my path in any way. Once I figured out that where I get my joy from, I'm seeking and I'm stepping towards joy. I'm not sitting up trying to play and dance to somebody else's music. That's not what I was born to do. It's not what you were born to do. Oh, and I gotta go here for a second. Y'all, it didn't start with you, right? Oh, this dude in his book has been so powerful for me because it's told me things that I did not know before. I can sit up and I can talk about the things that I've learned and read, you know, whether it was Carolyn Mess's book and Marianne Williamson's book. There's been so many books that is, you know, like lifted me and empowered me and given me a different insight. But this dude, along with the practices that I've already had, like I've always meditated. I've always been one that have, well, I shouldn't say always meditated. For the last 10 years, let's say, I've been a meditator. I've been a person who has been intuitive. I've been a person who can walk into the woods and feel the forests and the trees talking to me. I've been that kind of person. I've been a person who can pray, and I've been a person who, you know, this intuitive conversation with spirit has gone on for me. So it's not that part is new. But what is new is that he has given me faces. He's given me like my ancestors that, you know, even when I read that woman's book that survived Auschwitz, I can't even call her name at the moment. Even when I read her book, and she talked about how she would see her mother talk to her grandmother. You know, her mother had pictures of her grandparents on the mantle. And she says that her mother didn't pray to God. She would go and she would talk to these pictures of her ancestors. And they passed down pictures through the generations. And she says that she would go and she would talk her stuff through with the pictures. And so even when I read that, it didn't, you know, like come to me that there was something about my ancestral line that I should have been in conversation with. I didn't get that from a lot of the stuff that I've read, but when I read it in his book, this thing called epigenetics, it was like, whoa. Now let me look at the trauma, and let me look at the things that have been going on in my family line. Let me breathe into that space. Let me look at what they've been through and how what they've been through impacted my life. So when I get stressed out about stuff, right? When I'm sitting up in this space, now all of a sudden, here's what happened to me yesterday. It was so freaking powerful. I was stressed, right? I was stressed about the money piece, and I was stressed about some of the stuff that I was experiencing. I was having this level of stress, but now that stress was getting me anxious, and not anxious in like the anxiety kind of way. It was getting me anxious where I was irritable. And I was like, this is not me to be irritable, right? But you know, I was irritable. And so I had to stop in the middle of my like irritableness and think to myself, what is this? Right? What is this? I am a woman that knows that I can call forth what it is that I desire from the universe. I know that no matter what happens to me, what befalls me, it does not befuddle me. I know who I am in this. Why am I stressed about this? And then all of a sudden, as I turn around, it felt like my kitchen was full of women women that have come before me, and they're all like got this little, cackling back and forth amongst themselves about my stuff. And I had to say, look, I talked out loud to my ancestors. I talked out loud to these women, and I told them about where I am and what my intentions are for today, for now, and what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. And I wanted it to be clear, because one of the songs that I love that we do at every family reunion, at my family reunions, we do this song. I need you. I need you. You need me. We're all a part of God's body. It is his will that every need be provided. You are important to me. You're the reason for my life. I forget how the words go, but we do it every time at the family reunions. And it is like this, we go around and we hug each other as the music is playing. And, we talk about it. We look at one another in the face and we say, I need you, you need me. And we're all a part of this one family, right? And so as we do this, it's such a moving thing. And yesterday I could say that to every one of my ancestors. I need you and you need me. I am in this space now. I am embodied now, right? And I get to, if it is healing my timeline, I get to do that, but I get to do it on my terms. And so it was this thing of me now saying, look, I get it. When I talk about this plate that I got, and I got all of these things on here, I get it. Somebody lied to you like they lied to me. They've told me that I needed to have a man in my life in order to make this happen. I'm going to show you that this reason I'm here today in 2022, this is the reason why I'm here, because I'm going to correct all of that shit that you've been taught. I'm not going to allow somebody to tell me what my worth is based on it being in reference to somebody else, into a man or to a relationship or to something else. Yeah, I am not that one. And so for me, like for this end was I born. Jesus was saying, I come so that you may have life and that more abundantly. I'm going to show you that you don't take my life, but I can lay it down because I can pick it back up again. Somebody has to discover what it is that they are, what it is that you are standing up for, what it is that you are showing, what are you demonstrating for those that are around you. And it doesn't matter if they're the people standing around at Calvary, or if they're the people standing in your space right now. You came for a reason. And so that reason is for you to figure out and to allow it to unfold in your life. It's not, you may think that it's about, oh, I got to make this money. I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm healing my darn timeline. Damn all of these other people. I'm working on the stuff that has happened. Every time one of my ancestors was told that she couldn't, that they weren't good enough. Every time somebody tried to, beat them back and say what you can and cannot do, I'm standing up. I'm standing up for them, and I'm standing up for generations to come after me. I am going to, in my space, I'm going to stand for something different. I am not letting somebody dictate my worth based on sex. Damn it. Who was this? Somebody said to me, what was it that woman said? She was like, what was her question? We always got these ideas that, that men are taking something from us, right? Yeah, this is the funny thing. like, he took my virginity. He took my dignity. He took my this. He took my, if you give him, I was like sitting up there thinking to myself, I don't know about how y'all have sex, but when I get done, he's the one that's twitching. He's the one that's lost his life force energy. I'm taking. I am the one that's taking. And so when we sit there and we try to make it seem like we're diminished, no, baby. I don't know what y'all doing. But I am healed through what I receive. I am. It lifts me. And so these ideas that we go running around with saying, oh, don't do here and there. Come on, y'all, get over it. Get over it. Surely, let me say this too, because I get that when we are younger, it is up to the woman to decide what seed gets to, what sperm gets to fertilize that egg. We get to make decisions about what those our children will look like, what they will be like in the world. There's this and I know I'm turning some people off, but you know what, so be it, right? There is this this woman who had babies with this man who is a buffoon. And so she sits there and she points the finger at him as if he's done something wrong. He was a buffoon when you met him. He was a buffoon when you met him. And so it is up to you to make decisions. And don't sit there and make it seem like, oh, he tricked me. Bullshiggity. Right? That's oh, Adam said, oh, that woman deceived me. Come on now. You come on, we expect better than that. And so if we don't teach our daughters, our nieces, or anybody how to be more discerning, don't let somebody sit there and tell you about, oh, I don't know what happened. They were bull crap. We gotta do better. And we can't do better as long as you're lying or not showing up and speaking the truth. As long as you're leaning and pussyfooting and sitting up and trying to make it seem like, this is the best I can do, because that's bullshit. Stop leaning, stand up straight, walk tall in the world. You are not here by accident. Life is good. Life is good. But we got work to do, y'all. We got work to do. Let me see. There is, you are powerful beyond your wildest imaginations. But, that Bible says ye are gods, but you shall die as men until you get it through your big, thick, goofy head, the truth about your being. And it does not happen by accident. You have to be intentional about it. And it's not about, oh, let me see what everybody else is doing. Let me see what everybody else is saying. Y'all might be sitting up here. I don't know. You could sit up and listen and copy down word for word what I say, but you got to do the work. You have got to do the work. The work is yours to do. And it's so funny because a lot of times we sit up there and, even me, I sit there and I think to myself, like, darn, I got to figure out how to make this work for me too. Right. So there's a part of me that's sitting up there saying, I gotta get, that I'm tripping about my bills this week. is something that shouldn't happen when every single day I'm creating content, every single day I'm talking. So yes, I realize that there is something more that I need to do, right? I can sit up on my cushion, I can meditate, I can do all of this stuff, but yeah, I know that there is something more that I need to do. And as I start making shifts and changes, we'll see how that all comes out. But you got to do the work, because I don't care how much you copy off of somebody's paper. We did this in high school and everything else like that. You can copy off of somebody's paper all that you want to, but until you learn the lesson yourself, you ain't got nothing. And here's the other thing. Because you're being dishonest in it, when you're being dishonest, when I talked earlier about that disease that sets up from lying and trying to perpetrate and be something, that too will do it. Everyone's stride is different. You just have to find yours and not copy someone else's. There you go. Right? Yeah. There you go. We used to practice walking. When you say that, Everett, you know, people used to practice walking. This friend of mine told me the other day, your walk hasn't changed. Like, oh, changed to what? Changed to what? I got my feet up under me. I got my legs up under me. Darn it! I'm working on me standing up straight in the world. I'm not practicing hunching over. I'm evolving, not devolving. It's like that thing of when you see the progression of the ape and how it was hunched over, and then it sort of, and I don't know, what do we, at a certain point, do you start going back down or whatever? I'm working on standing up straight in the world. So what are you doing? That becomes the question. What are you doing? We got to do our own work. Seek it like our life depends on it. All right. It's Saturday. I love being me. I love being me. And I was so grateful for those women that were all crowded around me last night, even though, I know so many people might sit up there and look like, who you see? I ain't see nobody. It wasn't for you to see. It wasn't for you to sense. It was for me. And as I had that conversation with them, I was just like saying, that's based on the old paradigm. I'm operating and creating a new one. And so, when I'm saying I'm on the edge, where y'all want to be, right? What are you creating? Oh, I love this. I love this. I love it, love it, love it. So you powerful, beautiful people, I'm wishing you a sensational Saturday. And yes, I'm just, this is so good. So juicy good. Sensational Saturday to you. I don't know where my girl Tracy is this morning, but that whole let me just say this last thing before I leave. I don't know where that book is, but there was a book that I read about tantra and tantric sex. And in this particular book, it was written by, I don't know if you heard what I was talking about before, Tracy, but back it up probably about a good 20 minutes. And because I would have loved to, hey, good morning, James. There was this book that I read about tantric sex. And in this book, they gave all of these, it's some Chinese couple, Asian couple. I don't know if they were Chinese or Asian or what, but it was all about the sexual positions, and through sex, how sex was meant to heal the body. And I even talked to Dr. Brown about this at one point, that when somebody has told you that somebody is taking something from you, then the exchange is off. We are responsible for the energy that we take into our intimacy, into this thing with our partners. We're responsible for that. And so one of the things that they talk about in the book, and one of the things that Dr. Brown talked about is you could talk about positions and different ways of doing it and the parts of your body that is supposed to heal, but also to bring your consciousness to the different organs in your body as you are having sex, so that you can then receive the energy that you are supposed to receive. You are receiving the healing that you are supposed to receive. So when we talk about a man having an orgasm, talking about him dissipating, it is, you are receiving energy. You are receiving something. So do not walk around in this idea that somebody took something from you. We got to get out of that. We've got to mature to the point where we know that we are taking this for our own highest and best good. Oh, but here's what I will also tell you though, because I done been in, oh man, I got a whole nother, this thing take me another 10 minutes to tell y'all about this. Let me tell y'all, I'm gonna try to shorten it. There was back in the day, I used to, there was a guy that I was going out with, and I wasn't really attracted to him, right? I got this thing about dating people for different reasons, because people bring something to me that is very different. This guy was a medical doctor, and I was dating him. I was dating him because I liked his conversation. There was, he was one of those people that was just exceptionally intelligent. He was African. He was, African guy, exceptionally intelligent. I loved the depth and breadth of his conversation. But what I loved even more was the way that man loved me. It was like, I love sometimes the way that I am loved. That is, oh, right. When somebody, I love it. I love being loved. And that's one of the things about Alan too. Alan has loved me regardless of any of the stuff that I come with. It's like, oh yeah, okay. And yeah, so anyway, so I was dating this guy. And there was a part of me that when I was messing with him, there is a part of me, just like the headache stories I told you earlier about. When you're not supposed to be in something, there is nothing that adds to you, but rather it is subtracted from you based on you doing something that is against the higher purpose and plan for your life. So there are demerits that are literally taken from you every time you make decisions against your own spirit, against your own knowledge, against your own knowing. That's why we are diminished when we sell ourselves, right? When you trade off pieces and parts of you, whether it's your integrity or your body, it is a subtraction that is made each time we do so. We know a lot of times when we are in relationships that are not lifting us or building us, because we constantly feel that subtraction going on in our spirit. Now, so I was with this guy. I knew that it wasn't the guy for me. Whoa, but you talk about, I'm almost embarrassed. You talk about some stuff, right? I dude, I was like, there was a part of me that was in it and part of me that was resistant, because it was that back and forth. And I knew that because I wasn't supposed to be there and I had a resistance to be there, I knew it was diminishing me, but then I diminished him as well through the process because I wasn't even willingly coming along. It was almost as if I was busy trying to, you know, do whatever maneuvering. And I think that we do such a disservice to one another when we make it seem like we have to be, that we have to be in association, that we have to be in proximity, because sometimes we sign up for stuff that is always going to be a subtraction. It's never, I don't care how much money they have. If it's costing you on a spiritual level, it's costing your health, it's costing so much more. So I don't care how much you think you got up over the top. It's never going to be something that adds to you because it's subtracting from you at every moment. So I'm in this relationship knowing that this is not my dude, knowing that it ain't going to be about forever. But there was a part of me that, there was certain things that seemed like it was going to be a coup or come up or whatever it was. But it was still something that I wasn't supposed to be in. And so when we find ourselves in those situations, no matter what it is our agenda is, no matter what you perceive your agenda to be, it's still going to be a deficit because that's not where you're supposed to be. You're living a lie. Living a lie. Liars don't heal. We read that in the last book. When we talked in this book, there is something about deception, whether you are doing it to other people or whether you're doing it to yourself, that diminishes you. It literally subtracts off of you daily. So figuring out how to get integrity to yourself and turn in the right direction, which is what I talked about yesterday, is the work to do. I could talk about that relationship for a while because I knew I was doing that man a disservice. Although he was in love with me, I knew I was doing him a disservice because I knew I was doing me a disservice. And anytime we are showing up deceptively, it don't have any place to go. I don't care, I don't care what it is that you think. You may think, ooh, but the way, ooh, and the way, and all of that stuff. That's you might as well just say, you might as well just recognize that that's just hoeing. And when you just hoeing, it's just digging a hole. So Tracy said, yes, sacred sex, tantric sex is healing on so many levels. Let me know the book if it's on your site. I still have it here, but the book is, I'm sure it's out of print because when I got it, it was really old. I'll look for it, but I've looked for that man since, and I think that he had an institute set up somewhere at some point in time that what that was about learning those kinds of things. I do believe so. So let me I I looked over on the shelf that I thought it was going to be, and I don't see it there. I'll look for it and see if I can't find it. Because it was pretty heady stuff. Just being able to think about, wow, I can, do work on my liver, on my pancreas. I could do work on this. I could do work on that by with some sex. Let me, but I'm telling y'all, it's just not, you just can't. Knuckleheads gone. You gotta, there is, sacred is a good word, right? And once you recognize that, it'll make you do something different. Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you. I know that you got something out of this, because I did. If it wasn't for nobody else but me, I got something out of this. Share it, drop some money in my thing. I appreciate it. But recognize that, you are so doggone powerful beyond your wildest imagination. And so I just want I want us all to be living our best life. That energy can also be sent to help someone else too. We will have to talk about that one day. Ooh, goodness. Let me say, oh, here, I'm gonna take this. Let me do this for the for the brothers over there. And let me do this one for the people in the back row. Let me get, oh, that's a good idea. We should all be so generous, right? As to be like healing the world through the power of love. Woo. And y'all, when you start feeling chakras open up and different things happening on that level, it's amazing. Oh, it's amazing. But I'm gonna tell you, there is a responsibility to it. Knuckleheads don't do, and women are knuckleheads too, chicken heads, whatever you want to call them. They can be that too. I get it. We got to figure out how to stand in integrity, stand on our own 2 feet, how to move through the world with integrity, and how to recognize it when it's there and when it ain't. Ooh, yeah, that's powerful. All right, so I'm gone because I got work to do. I got work, baby. All right, so I had to get a song in, I guess. All right, besides the Wizard of Oz song. So I bless you. I appreciate you. Have an amazing day. Yeah, look, when I say drop some money on my thing, even $5 is wonderful, right? It don't have to be any big deal. It's $SandraSaidit at Cash App or at PayPal. Is SandraSaidit. At Zelle is SandraSaidit at Gmail. At anything is, who said that? SandraSaidit. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. I gotta go. Blessings to you.